Hello and welcome back. I'm really excited today. We've got an exciting presentation. We're going to be covering Sara Bareilles' love song. For those of you that maybe you've heard this song but you don't quite remember the title of it, or maybe you haven't heard it, it goes something like this. That by now that rings a bell. One further word before we delve into this. Anyone that's not seen the video lessons 1 through 3 and taking the quizzes, I would strongly recommend that you do that first, because the right hand is going to look really confusing if you haven't done those lessons. I think if you've done the lessons, you'll be able to kind of identify the patterns and things that I'm using quickly, so it doesn't quite look like a random blob of notes. So definitely to your advantage to do that first. Also, if you've taken the video lesson number 4, that will be to your advantage, but that's more, I'll leave that one up to you, okay? Okay, so I think the first thing to talk about in this song is the left hand. We're going to introduce some new concepts. We're going to introduce syncopated rhythm. We're going to introduce 7 chords and something called a sus2. The sus2 in particular is something that we've done before. So I think before we get into the left hand of this song, I'm going to review a minute the Van Halen song we covered. And that is a sus2 right there. It's kind of got that unfinished, unsettled kind of feeling. We're going to use a sus2 in the Sara Bareilles song. It's going to look more like this. It's a B-flat sus2. The thing with these sus2 chords is that instead of using first, middle, last as a typical major chord, we're doing, I guess you could say 1, 2, 5, right? And 2, in this case it does coincide with my finger number, but the actual meaning of the 2 means that we're playing the second note of that scale. So D is the second note of the C scale, and that's why we're using the D there, okay? With this one, the second note of the B-flat scale is a C, so that's why that's a B-flat sus2. Okay? Now, this song is in the key of F, and just as a review for those of you who may not have played an F scale before, so I've got 3 white keys and then a black. So I've got F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Okay? So the bass line is going to almost exactly follow that scale. But there are a couple exceptions. And also the bass line is written in octaves. Okay? So octaves mean that you play your given note in 2 places, right? With your thumb and with your pinky. Notice I've got, a stretch going on here. So it'll sound something like that. Now, some of you have smaller hands. For those that have smaller hands, I would recommend trying to roll it like that. Or if that's not going to work, then I would just stick with 1 note. Okay? So this actually starts on a G. So the odd thing about this is that we're starting the F scale on a G. So it goes as follows. And then just to be a wise guy, they throw an F sharp in there, okay? And it absolutely does not fit the scale or the key signature. It's what you would call borrowed harmony or a borrowed chord. A little bit beyond the scope of today's discussion, just know that even though that doesn't really fit in the key signature, it sure does sound cool, okay? So I think I've kind of walked up that bass line. G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, F sharp. Okay? Now, the rhythm, this is what really gets tricky here. Okay, so we're going to count and clap this rhythm because it's a syncopated rhythm, and what you're going to find is the left and the right do not always occur at the same time. Okay? Syncopated rhythms, typically we're dealing with things more in between the beats, and it has kind of an off sound. Okay? Think of the right hand of this as being the beat. We're going to do it. 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4. Okay. See how my right hand was just a steady beat? 1, 2, 3, 4 the whole time. And notice how that left hand kind of drags behind, like when we're doing that 4, that 1, 2, 3, a 4. Okay? A 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3. Notice too, you might have seen eighth notes before, you might be reading music, you may have an edition of this that has eighth notes in it, but do not play this like eighth notes in the classical sense. Okay, because if you do that, it's going to sound 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. It's just, that's way too rigid for this song. So, this is sort of an intentional swagger, and it's sort of it's sort of like how a jazz musician or blues musician might play, okay? All right, so, having covered the rhythm, let's talk a little bit about the right hand a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do with the right hand is we're going to do 3 of one chord, and then we're going to do 1 of the next chord, and then 3, and then 1, and then so on. So we're going to start with the G minor chord. We're going to play it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So that coincides with the downbeat, that first beat, that G. So that's all together on 1. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then the next chord in the right hand is going to be an F chord first inversion. So F major first inversion, A, C, F. And recall from the previous lesson, this was our root position F, but now we're going to put the F on top. And notice how that lines up nicely with the preceding bass note of the A octave. And see how we're doing kind of the same thing with this B flat sus too. So 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 of those B flat sus 2s, and then so this is a C major second inversion. I have no idea for the life of me why they did a C major second inversion. I mean, to me this would have been a lot easier and just as melodically pleasing, but that's what my ear is telling me that they're using there is this. So if you're a purist, I guess use this, and if you want to cheat a little bit to make it easier, I guess use this, because there's not a lot of most people aren't going to notice. Okay. Now I've got 3 D minors there. 1, 2, 3 D minors, and then going to a C major. Okay, excuse me. 3 D minors, a C major with an E in the bass, right? And now 3 F major second inversions. Okay, so F major second inversion, we spell that C, F, A. And then we finish off the sequence with that. That is F sharp in the bass, and then we've got what we refer to as a D major first inversion here. F sharp, A, D. And I realize there's other videos and there's a lot of different sheet music out there. Some of it's more legitimate than others. Please do not use this. That is not the correct chord. Okay, so whoever tells you that that's an F sharp diminished there, I would dare to challenge that, because I've been through this song dozens of times. I've tried it both ways. This is the right way. Okay, so let's back this whole train up here, and we'll just kind of take this in slow motion. And notice it just keeps following that same syncopated rhythm the whole way through, and that same 3 of these, 1 of those, 3 of these, 1 of those with the right hand. 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, a 4. Okay, so I would recommend when practicing this, work through the left hand first. Definitely do the clapping on your lap thing. You might feel silly, but do it, clap it, count it, because that's going to be a lot easier once you start stuffing the notes in there. It's not going to be quite as much work mentally to try to, you know, it's, you want to kind of get that more automatic so that your brain is able to think about the notes of the right hand and then get those. Okay, so just take this one step at a time. Learn the left hand first, clap out the rhythm on your lap, count it, and then try doing the right hand chords, the 3 G minor, 1 F first inversion, 2, 3 B flat sus 2. You got your C major second inversion there, and then a D minor, 3 of those, 1 of these C majors, 1, 2, 3 F major second inversion, CFA, and then you've got this guy, the D major first inversion, F sharp, AD. Okay, so moving on, I would just kind of work hard on mastering that first, but what we're moving into now is called the pre-chorus, or kind of the part that builds the tension or emotion up to the high emotional point of the chorus, right? And it seems kind of natural that we would just kind of go up the scale, you know, just a G, an A, a B flat, and a C. And no more of this 3-in-1 business. We're just going to do 4 of each chord this time. We're going to do 4 G minors. We're going to do 4 F first inversions with the A in the bass. We're going to do 4 B flat sus 2s, and then we're going to do 4 C second inversions. So it'll sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this time, we're only going to do up to B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Just hold that, okay? So hold that 4 counts, then go to the chorus, okay? Chorus, we're gonna use a new chord called a 7 chord. Take your G minor that you would normally use, and we're gonna add an F on top. So now we've got 4 notes, a big chord, okay? We're just going to do that once, and then we're going to do 3 G minor chords. So see how I like to do that? I've just got that spread right out like that. And then I can grab what's going to be called a C7 next. And the C7, we're going to switch the left hand to a C. And see how I've got that second inversion C like we've been doing? But now I'm going to sneak this B flat in here, okay? So our normal form of C7 would look like this. This would be the root form of C7. And as you can see, it fits the key of F nicely. Not necessarily the key of C, but the key of F. Okay? But it's kind of a little bit awkward. And I can just kind of take that B flat and stick it inside the inverted C. So it has quite a richer sound to it, doesn't it? Okay. So we're going to play that chord 4 times with the C in the bass, and then we're going to switch over to, we're going to do the F first inversion again. I think we're going to do 4 of those, and then we're going to do 4 of the B flats. Okay, and then the entire sequence of 4 chords, we're going to do that 4 times. And this is the chorus. And then there's going to be another walk up that's a little bit different, but let's just do these 4 chord sequence. Okay? Okay, now we're ready for the final run up the chorus. And this sequence only happens once. Okay? We're going to use a G minor. We're going to do an F. So we're going to do several of the G major. We're going to do some Fs. We're going to do D minor, second inversion. We're going to do something called a B diminished, which is just B, D, F. Okay? So, without getting too technical here, a B major would be like this. If we flat both the last note and the middle note, it leaves us with a B diminished. If you don't remember that, just remember B diminished is B, D, F. Okay, so let's try that a minute. Okay, so we got G minor. Now we're going to go to an F, but have an A in the bass. Now there's that D minor I talked about. There's that B diminished I talked. There's your B flat sus2 after that. And then finish it off with a C major with the second inversion. And just hold that baby. And then just from there, you're going to repeat the entire sequence, and that'll be your verse 2, pre-chorus 2, chorus 2. And then that's going to take you into something called the bridge. It's going to be kind of a change of pace here. So we're going to talk more about the bridge later. I think for today, I've probably given you more than enough. Any questions, please feel free to email me. There will be a short quiz after the lesson. Hope you enjoyed, and look forward to seeing you again very soon.